Now, the next category of content that we're going to write about, remember there's 4 categories here. We want to first off write what's called hyperlocal content. You're going to hear this phrase kicked around ActiveRain so much, it's not even funny. Everyone's talking about hyperlocal blogging and how it's helped their career. So what is hyperlocal blogging? Well, on this list you see a couple examples of hyperlocal blogging. We could talk about architecture or housing styles in our area, maybe historic buildings in our area, market statistics for our area, local businesses in our area, write a story about a neighborhood in our area or pet-friendly or senior-friendly housing in our area, maybe take a walk around our area. Notice that word that's at the end of every one of those statements, our area. So some good examples of some hyperlocal posts. Here we have a hyperlocal post about a local subdivision, okay? So Tony Cannon is going through once a week, once a month, however often it may be. He's taking photos of a cool subdivision in his area, and he's sharing the information about the houses in that subdivision with anybody who cares to know. And this installment's about Allard Ranch Estates. So he tells us a little bit about Allard Ranch Estates, and then he takes some photos of Allard Ranch Estates so we can get an idea of what it looks like to live in Allard Ranch Estates. Why do we want to do hyperlocal posts like this? Because most people, according to NAR, are going to do about 2 weeks of research before they buy a home, and they're going to do that research online before they ever contact a real estate professional. What are some of the things you think they're looking up? Don't you think they might be looking up housing information for the area, maybe school information for the area? Maybe they're looking up parks or recreation in the area. But they're going to be researching that local area that they're planning on relocating to. Here's another example of hyperlocal blogging. How about a listing? Is that a hyperlocal post? Absolutely, right? Because it's about the local area. This hyperlocal post right here, Rancho San Pasqual Stunner, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. Pretty nice listing. It's Lynn Judson's listing, right? We could get a property map, view a virtual tour, look at the photo gallery. Here's the amazing thing. When you go and Google Rancho San Pasqual 3-bedroom, 2-bath, first page, first 2 spots, is that listing. By itself, that listing, sitting on the very first page of Google. You can't beat that. Actually, it's this listing and then another listing. All right? So imagine getting each and every one of your listings on the first page of Google. So hyperlocal content is anything dealing with a specific neighborhood, subdevelopment, city, or county in your area. Over time, you're going to build up this perception online that you are the local area expert. You're the person in the know, whether I'm looking for the parks in the area, the good schools in the area, listings in the area, market reports, so on and so forth, anything somebody may want to research in that local area. So hyperlocal posts. Another category of content would be to write about our passions, hobbies, and interests. I know some of you are probably scratching your heads going, well, why would we want to write about our passions, hobbies, or interests? So let me find someone to pick on here, and we'll explain. Let's see who I can pick on. I'm going to pick on Corey. Are you still with me, Corey?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. And what do you do for a living, Corey?
I run the Keller Williams office in Escondido.
Okay, so you run a Keller Williams office in Escondido, which tells me you're a very, very busy guy. I know when you do real estate, it's one of those all-consuming jobs that really does consume a lot of you. But when you can actually get away from the beast called real estate, get away from the office and get some time for yourself, what do you like to do with your free time?
Jet ski in the ocean.
You like to go jet skiing on the ocean. Now, I would say it's probably a fair bet that you live within about 15 to 30-minute drive of the beach.
10.
10-minute drive. Now, how did I know that? I'm not psychic. Is it possibly because of your passions determine where you're going to live?
Absolutely.
Absolutely they do. As a matter of fact, I know on everybody's business license, if you're a real estate agent, it says you're in the business of selling real property. Do you believe that statement, Corey?
Absolutely.
You know what? I don't. I feel that most people that buy into that statement will fail, and this is why. If we focus on selling a property, we'll never be as successful as if we focus on selling a lifestyle or selling a dream.
Wow.
People don't want granite countertops. People want a nice place where they can get the family together to share a nice meal, okay? People don't want a newly remodeled bathroom. They want an enclave away from the family, the hustle and bustle of the daily life that they can get away to, okay? When we start thinking about people's wants and desires, their passions, their hobbies, their dreams, their interests, and we start addressing those, number one, we'll start making more strong personal connections based off of shared interests. But number two, we'll evoke a much stronger emotional response out of people. So ask yourselves, what is it that I'm passionate about? What are my hobbies and interests? And write about them. Because people who share those same hobbies and interests are going to be drawn to you off of those shared interests. A good example, I have a gentleman who loves golf. And he lives out in Arizona. What a great state to live in, especially the Phoenix area where he lives, if you love golf. And I said, hey, don't you think that people relocating to this area probably love golf as well? So he writes posts about the local area golf courses. He gives advice for drivers to use, different clubs, balls to get. So he writes a lot about his interest, golf. And now people looking to relocate to Arizona, if they love golf, guess who's the real estate agent that they find?
Yeah.
That's right, it's him. So let's think about it another way, too. There was a survey done in 2008 where a group of 1,000 homebuyers were asked, what was the number one factor in deciding what real estate professional you worked with during this transaction? The most common response is probably going to surprise you. It had nothing to do with years of experience or number of homes sold or different license designations. It actually was a personal connection that they had established with that real estate professional. So if we both love football, Corey, can't you see how we might have a stronger chance at making that personal connection?
Absolutely.
We got to spend 3 to 4 hours together, either driving around, looking at properties, negotiating the contract, right? We're going to spend some time together. It's probably very important that we have some interest in common, or that we can at least carry on polite conversation with each other. If not, it's going to be really, really hard to keep that business relationship strong. So just take a look at this list and you'll see some of these. Your hobby right here, right? What about writing about maybe, you know, you love decorating. You want to write about some decorating ideas, right? Maybe you love working with seniors and you want to write about working with seniors or baby boomers, right? So the whole idea here is if you have a niche or you have a specialty, a hobby, a passion and interest, write about it and share that with your readers so they can make that personal connection to you. If you're going to talk about features of a listing in a blog post on ActiveRain, talk about the lifestyle or the goal that feature helps them attain, not just about the feature, okay? So newly remodeled bathroom, how about great bathroom, newly remodeled, a place to come and relax, get away from the busyness of the day, right? So start thinking about what is the need, the want, the desire that this feature is going to meet, and you're going to be a lot more successful, all right? So commonly asked questions, hyperlocal content, passions, hobbies, interests. The last category is probably going to be just as much of a head turner here. So I'm going to go to the front page of ActiveRain. I want you folks to ask yourselves a question when I read out these titles. Is this post meant for consumers or is it meant for other professionals, all right? So the first one, which is best, working out of your area or making a referral? Don Williams, do you think that's for consumers or other professionals to read?
I would think it would be for other professionals.
You got it. Grand opening of the Ploughcroft Tea Room in downtown Lynchburg. That's for either consumers or professionals. Anybody in that local area might care to know that, right? I fired my dentist last week after being a patient for over 20 years. Sometimes customer service is more important. Sounds like this post is going to be about the importance of customer service. That's for other professionals, right?
Yeah.
Florida foreclosures. Why did I get served with foreclosure papers when I don't own the house? This is a commonly asked question. It's meant for consumers. Listing with a new agent is a business decision, not personal. So he's going to go over the benefits of listing with a new agent. That's for professionals. Importance of a home's floor plan. All square footage is not created equal. That's for consumers. Embrace changes for professionals. You post recipes and listings. Do you really like it here? That's for professionals. You have a listing presentation. What do you offer buyers? For professionals. Taking possession. Am I being straight-laced proved? That's for professionals. Potential. Does it sell a house in today's real estate market? Consumers. Last week's favorites. Professionals. We're all going to make more money in 2011. Professionals. Are you the neighborhood expert? For professionals. Isn't it funny? We were just talking about that. ActiveRain and Kodak contest. For professionals. Right? So hopefully everyone's seeing the pattern here. The bulk of these featured posts are written for other professionals to enjoy reading. So anyone have any idea, anybody not on mute have any idea on why we would want you to write content for other professionals to enjoy reading?
I was just going to ask that question.
Yeah. Anybody got an answer to that question?
To build relationships.
Yep. Build relationships in the hopes of getting referrals, right?
You bet.
This is a big hot topic around everyone's water cooler, and if not, you're working with stone people, cave people. Shadow inventory. Raging like a river, right? Banks keep building up the shadow inventory. They got to get rid of it sometime. They're trying to trickle it out there so that they don't further damage the values on the market, damaging the assets that they're holding, right? The value of the assets they're holding, right? What about another hot topic of discussion lately? Anything having to do with short sales or foreclosures, right? Tis the season. What about talking about RepoGate? Yeah, talking about underwriting, right? What about no clear chain of title on all these foreclosures, right? What's that going to happen? What's going to happen with that? What kind of litigation can we expect, right?
Right.
So when we talk about things that other members enjoy reading, number one, they get to know us. Hopefully they get to like us, share some of the same viewpoints as us. And now let me ask you a question. Fred, are you going to give a referral to somebody you know nothing about?
No.
No, absolutely not. So the whole point here is by getting to know me, I'm giving people a better opportunity to give me referrals. All right? So there's a couple different ways that you could do this. There's a couple basic categories here that members mostly, from what I can see, enjoy reading about. So here's a good one. Here's a good example of one right here. You have a listing presentation. What do you offer buyers? So this is a sales strategy tip. They're giving you a strategy on how to do your listing presentation. And they want you to focus on providing your buyers with more value than the next guy. Right? Sounds like a good idea. Here's the one about shadow inventory. So this one is topic of interest. This is a topic that we know other real estate professionals are going to be interested in. We're not giving a tip or suggestion. We're just discussing something that's going on. It's a current event that we should all be interested in. Another type is paying it forward. All right? You're going to see a lot of paying it forward posts. They tend to get featured a lot. People like to hear good, positive, uplifting stories. Here, Liz and Bill are paying it forward, and they're helping promote the Shared Harvest Food Bank. Okay? So them and the Kroger team, they're partnering up, and they're going to provide more food to the needy. How does this help them? Well, the more that other professionals see them as a pay-it-forward type of person that's doing good in the community, the more likely they are to send their referrals to them. And we saw another example of a pay-it-forward, but this is when we're paying it forward for one specific business who's done a good job for us. Well, why do other members like that? Because other members, just like you, are professionals in this business who are looking for reliable professionals that they can work with. Maybe I don't have a good home stager yet, or I don't have a good home inspector yet, or I don't have a good title guy yet. Writing about your good home inspector or title guy, or in this example, pest control specialist, is a great way of getting that business more business. And obviously, if you get them more, they're going to work harder to get you more. It's what I like to call the rule of reciprocation. The more value I can provide others with, the more value that they usually end up reciprocating to me, and that's usually in the way of deals or dollars, right? So the four basic categories, if you want to go over them again, of things you do want to write about on ActiveRain. Start with your commonly asked questions. Then you've got hyper-local content, anything having to do with your local area, subdevelopments,